बोलो सियापति रामचंद्र की जय शरण. Sri Ram devotees, at this point in time will join, will sing, will chant, will glorify the divine name of Bhagwan. After which we'll join in beautiful Katha tonight. Tonight Katha takes a little turn. Last week I made mention of a couple of things that happened in Ramayana. So tonight when it goes, basically it's Ramayana Katha. So you're going to get Ramayana Katha this evening. So at this point in time, we join, we sing and chant and glorify the divine name of Bhagwan. अयोध्यावासी राम 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 दशरथ नंदन राम। अयोध्यावासी राम राम दशरथ नंदन राम। पतित पावन जानकी जीवन सीता मोहन राम। पतित पावन जानकी जीवन सीता मोहन बोलो सियापति रामचंद्र की जय शरणम। We joined in Ramayana Simran. Oh, बोलो सियापति रामचंद्र की जय शरणम. Devotees, tonight as we join in beautiful Katha, I just had this feeling, that I felt this vibe. So I just go with the flow. That I need to enter the old pages of the Sri Ram Chaitanya Sundar Khan. As you listen to that beautiful Katha, connecting to the Sri Hanuman Chalisa where we have stopped. Last day, we finished at Prabhu Charitra Sunibe Ko Rasya Ram Lakhana Sita Mana Basya. Hanumanji is always excited and happy to listen to the glorious chants of the Divine Lord. Ram Lakhana Sita Mana Basya. Within his heart, he has residing Prabhu Shri Ram, Sita Devi and Lakshmana. And as I always tell you, they are not just present in the heart of Hanumanji, but they are also present in our heart. We just have to realize that and we just have to understand that, right? So we move on now to the next verse. Sukshma Rupa Dhari Siyahi Dikhava. Right? So Sukshma Rup, Hanumanji took a very subtle form, small form, because he did not want to scare Sita Devi. Sita Devi was kept in the Ashok Vatika, surrounded by Rakshasas, demons, right? Now, when you're in that sort of environment, psychologically, it is going to have some sort of effect on you, not so? It is going to have some sort of effect. So, anyone and anything that she sees that looks a little bit too much out of the ordinary is going to affect her a little bit. It's going to affect her a little bit. And for the amount of time that she's there, any little thing is going to affect her. You know, like people when they go to war and stuff, right? When they go to war and they come back, they end up having a psychological disorder called PTSD, right? Post-traumatic stress disorder. And they keep having these memories replaying and all of that. But when they are on that battlefield as well, sometimes they keep having these experiences. It takes a toll on you. So being in their environment, you can think about this, being in the environment, they are both of Rakshas, demons. Right? You can think about how it is Sita Devi was feeling. And Hanumanji is thinking, oh, big Hanumanji, powerful Hanumanji. If he comes in front of Sita Devi, what is going to happen? How is she going to feel? Right? So I'll break it down to you. Let me just complete the verse here, right? So Sukshma Rupa Dhare Siyah Dikava. So he went in front of Sita Devi, revealed himself in that very subtle form, right? Vikata Rupa Dhari Lanka Jara. And then taking Vikata Rup, very powerful, mighty, right? Amazing form. He burns Lanka, Lanka Jarava, right? Bhima Rupa Dhari Asura Samhare. Bhim, you hear that name in Mahabharata as well, right? Bhim refers to a terrible form. Terrible, mighty, scary looking, thunderous. You see that fella coming in, you want to run and hide and all kind of thing. Them fellas go sacrifice themselves before Hanumanji reaches to deal with them. Right? You'll hear this now. Wait, we come into that. Right? So Bhimarup, he takes this terrible, mighty, powerful form, right? A huge form. Dhari Asura Sanhari. And he eradicates all the negativity. Right? Destroys all the evil. Ramachandra ke Kajasavari. Therefore, completing the mission of Prabhu Shri Ram. So, it is a lot to go through the entire Katha to be able to give you all the parts. When we come to the end of Hanuman Chalisa, by the grace of God, at the end of that, we'll probably move into Sundar Khan and we'll probably take that one verse at a time. Word by word, step by step, and go through that. Trying to understand and receive the nectar, receive the knowledge, the information that is contained there. For some reason, we can do that, right? So, I will try to cut and fit and take the parts that you require to explain this to you and put it together and give you that information, right? So, yes, some things might be left out, but it's just to give you the gist of what is really transpiring, right? So I'll give you the essence of what is going on. And it's not me, as I always say, I allow the information to flow. I allow Bhagwan to tell to you what needs to be told. So, Hanumanji, he reveals himself to Sita Devi, but how does he reveal himself to Sita Devi? Yes, in a subtle form, but before he does that, after meeting with Vibhishan in Lanka, he proceeds to the Ashok Vatika because Vibhishan tells to Hanuman, oh Hanuman, Sita Devi is being kept in the Ashok Vatika, right? So he goes there to find her and he is looking through the trees now and he's seeing Sita Devi seated there. She's looking at her feet and she's imaging and looking as though she's looking at the feet of Prabhu Shri Ram. That is how it is described. Right? And she takes that mental image of Prabhu Shri Ram. When Hanumanji sees Sita Devi there, devotees, he pays mental obeisance. I want you to understand that. Eh? Sita Devi was there, but Hanumanji paid mental obeisance. What do I always say? The physical form is there for a reason. But there's always this saying that says, Rama se bara, Rama ka naam. Greater than the form is the name. The form couldn't be leveraged. What had to be leveraged? The name. When they had to cross the ocean. You understand where I'm coming from? The power lies in the name. Bhagwan keeps trying to tell this to us. Oh, you want the form, you want to find the form, you want to see the form. And God is walking in front of you every day. In the form of all the human beings. And we can't see and we can't recognize and we can't understand that. We're only looking. Ram, where's Ram? Where's Ram? I don't know. I don't know. I'm looking for God. I'm searching for God. We're looking all over. Continuously looking and searching. Right? But Bhagwan is here, there, and everywhere. So Hanumanji paid mental respects and homage. Why? Because Sita Devi was not external. That which was on the outside was an illusion. That was a reminder to Hanumanji that, oh, kya baat hai? Sita Devi is on the inside. So when you see the Murti, that gives you, it's a reminder to remind you that where does the divine reside? That the divine resides within, not without, not on the outside, but on the inside. It is simply a reminder. So as he pays respects to that divine mother there now, in the form of the mother, he pays respects to that divine Devi. He then notices and witnesses that Ravana comes there with some Rakshasas. He has some female demons and all these things. One being Trijata, right? She's well known in Ramayana Katha. You'll know why just now. And Ravana goes there and starts to torment Sita Devi. But I want you to understand something, right? I want you to understand something. The Sita Devi that was kept in Lanka wasn't the actual Sita Mata or Sita Devi. That is something that needs to be clarified. At one point in time, before Ravana came and abducted Sita Devi, right? Nobody else knew of this except Prabhu Shriram and Sita Devi, not even Lakshmana. He didn't know this. So for the entire Ramayana, he's also thinking that that is actual Sita Devi. Because it's a Leela that was transpiring. Before Ravana came, Prabhu Shriram invoked the presence of Agni Devata and asked Sita Devi to take her rightful place, to seat herself there in the warmth and the comfort, because she's the divine mother. And he says, Devi, I want you to leave standing here an illusionary form, as we call Maya Sita. He says, now I am going to enact Manusha Leela, the Leela of a mere mortal man. What I'm going to enact is a play. Hence we have what is called as Ram Leela. I'm going to enact the play. So everything from here forward is me as God acting as a mere common mortal man. Hence, people ask questions like, from here forward, they ask questions like, well, why God had to run around in the forest and cry like a normal person? Because he was acting as a normal person. Duh. Don't say things you don't know. Ask if you want to know. I hear all sorts of things. People contradict without even understanding. You understand where I'm coming from? You can't know part of the story and assume the rest. You know? You have to understand the entire thing. So, there, Sita Devi leaves her illusionary form and she goes into resting, as the case may be. And that Leela begins. And from there forward, then Ravana came, etc., etc. And everything proceeded from there. So, Maya Sita, who was in Lanka, she's also referred to as Vaidehi. So whenever you hear the name Vaidehi, we are referring to that illusionary form of Sita Devi. Good? Ravana didn't have the power to touch Sita Devi. Right? So he would burn to ashes immediately. So for the sake of that Leela, it had to be like that. She's the divine mother of God, Adi Shakti Jagannath Mata. You all know the kind of power she possesses, right? So, with that being said, being there now in Lanka, Ravana goes and he starts to torment that Maya Sita, and he's saying now, you know, you need to become my consort. I will make you my first queen in front of Mandodari and all Adi Sabrani, all of the other queens. I will make you first. I will make them all your servants. When a man speaks like that, it's time to run. Isn't that right? That's correct? Not so? Right? There's something that we need to understand. Think about that. He's also an actor because Ravana was actually one of the gatekeepers of Lord Vishnu. Ravana and Kumbhakarna, they are Jaya and Vijay fallen upon the face of the earth in the form of Rakshasas, demons, right? That's an entire katha by itself, but just for you to understand. So he's also an actor in Leela there. Now, tormenting her, he says, you need to become my queen. She starts to tell him all sorts of things and compares him to a firefly and compares the Lord Prabhusham to the sun and all sorts of things. So she belittles Ravana. And Ravana, all sorts of things. He takes out his sword and he threatens her and he says, I will come back here, right? I will give you some time. I want you to make a decision. The only decision you have is to become my consort. Either that or I will remove your head. She says, I would prefer to have my head removed by your sword than to be in your arms. Kya baat hai? Right? Just like that. That is Dulha Hintana. Kya baat hai? You understand? She stands to fulfill her righteous duty as the Dharma Patni of Prabhu Shri Ram, showing you the qualities of a virtuous wife. Despite the fact of situation, circumstance, place, environment, whatever the case may be, nothing strays her from her duty of being that virtuous wife that she has to be. Arrange this day and age of Kali Yuga. Well, Baba, did you make a mistake now? Oh God. I mean real, I mean practical. I deal with a lot of people, I deal with a lot of situations on a daily basis. Yes, we are human beings, we make mistakes, right? Infidelity is not a mistake. That is a choice, it is a decision. Right? Correct? It is a decision, it is a choice. As I always say, you don't see the tiger and put your hand in his mouth and expect not to get bite. Something has to be wrong. Something definitely has to be wrong. You understand? You don't see fire and walk into the fire and say, well, it was a mistake, a slip up. What will happen to you? Ram Nam, Satya hai. You understand? So here she's exhibited the qualities of that virtuous wife, right? Now you see why I will have to go through all of this step by step, because the information is so much, just on one little thing you can grasp so much information. So all sorts of things transpire, and then eventually he leaves and he goes and he tells the female demons there, you all torment her and get her to accept, get her to agree. And when he left, eventually Trijata, one of the female demons, she remained there and she drove away the other female demons that were there. And she had a conversation with Sita Devi. And she started to reassure Sita Devi, in some way, she was a devotee of Prabhu Shri Ram. In some way. Despite the fact that she was in that Rakshas environment and considered to be a Rakshas, right? She was a devotee of Prabhu Shri Ram. And she started to narrate and explain. She told to all of them that were there as well. She said, she had a vision, she had a dream. That a monkey will come to Lanka and he will burn Lanka to ashes. And she sees Ravana with his head shaven off, right? Shaven off, representing it in the form of shame, riding a donkey in the southern direction, heading in the southern direction. She says that is the vision she has. She tells them, do not trouble Sita Devi, do not torture her. You do not know. You are unable to recognize or realize who she really is. And there, Sita Devi, the divine mother of the universe, starts to refer to Trijata as Mother Ma. She refers to her like that. And starts to pay respects to her. And Trijata reassures her and tells to her that, do not lose hope. While all of this is going, Hanumanji is seated there. He's in the trees and he's watching and he's looking. And he's seeing everything that is transpiring. Eventually when Trijata leaves, Sita Devi is a little bit reassured. Hanumanji comes. He's in a tree there now and he's trying to figure out now, how do I reveal myself to Sita Devi? I am in this monkey form. If I go in front of Sita Devi now, she won't know, Bapre, what kind of maya is this? What kind of jadoo is this? This is Lanka, all sorts of magic and things can be performed, right? And so said, so done, right? What happened is that Hanumanji decided he had the ring that Prabhu Shri Ram gave to him. Prabhu Shri Ram took off his ring that had Ram engraved upon it and he gave it to Hanumanji. Prabhu Mudrika Meli Mukmahi. Hanumanji, we'll come to that later on in Hanuman Chalisa, right? Prabhu Mudrika Meli Mukmahi, he took that ring, he placed it on the tip of his mouth here, the tip of his thumb, and he set off on his mission. That's when he flew off, right? So Hanumanji takes this ring now and he drops it because he knows this would be a sign of reassurance that when Sita Devi sees this beyond everything else, she will know that this has come from the Lord. She will know for sure that this has come from the Lord. So he drops the ring and she picks it up happily. As she sees this, she recognizes the ring to be that of the one of Prabhu Shri Ram. And Hanumanji starts to narrate the glorious tales of Prabhu Shri Ram and narrate his own katha and all of these different things. And here she says, oh brother, really reveal yourself. Why do you not show yourself? You're singing so beautifully, you're narrating so beautifully. And Hanumanji comes out of the shadows there now. He reveals himself from the tree itself. He reveals himself. And as he comes forth, Sita Devi is shunned away because she looks and she sees the form and she's thinking automatically now, oh, this has to be some maya, some trick that is being played. And this is something we must understand. Never judge a book by its cover, devotees. We hear this over and over and over and over. Never judge a book by its cover. That which may seem golden may contain the most amount of filth within. And that which may seem as hard as a rock and as rough as a rock may be as soft or as light as a feather may be, as soft as a cushion, whatever the case may be. Right? Never judge a book by its cover. So here she sees and automatically, oh, this has to be. But we can't also blame her because she's enacting this Leela. And here, she's already undergoing so much stress that is placed upon her by all these Rakshasas. What else is left for her, you know? No sign of hope, nothing at all. So here now, in life, devotees, we end up in these situations as well. We go through certain things in life and we think that God has forgotten us. But the truth is, He has not forgotten us. Ask for a sign and you will receive one. Bhagwan, give me a sign, just give me some sort of reassurance. You will get a sign. If you ask sincerely, with faith, love and devotion, right? So that was the reassurance coming there that Bhagwan has not forgotten her. Nevertheless, Hanumanji started to explain to her and to narrate to her and tell her, you know, how, because she asked, she said, how did man and monkey become friends? You know? And then he started to narrate the entire Leela and explain how they came together and they are now in search of her and all of these things. And he has come as the servant of the Lord. Eventually, Sita Devi accepts seeing Hanumanji there. She felt his heart. That's how it is described. Tulsidas describes it. She felt that his heart was pure. When you see a devotee, you know one, my dear friends. A devotee does not have to express and to explain themselves. They don't have to claim to be a bhakt. You know, we have some of those, right? They claim, you know, I am bhakt. You know, you don't have to claim that you are bhakt. It can be seen through your actions. It can be felt through your emotions of love and all of these different things. The way that you treat others, it can be felt. So here she feels that vibration, she feels that warmth, she feels that comfort in the company of Hanumanji. And they have this wonderful conversation. Coming to this point here now, at this point in time, she showers blessings after hearing Hanumanji narrating. She showers blessings upon Hanumanji. What does she say? Jai Ram, Sri Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Bolo. This is definitely one of my favorite kathas, audible. I love the entire Sundarkand from beginning to end. Specifically Sundarkand. You know, in this entire Rama, in this entire scripture. Here, she says, Ajara Amar Gunanidhi Sutahohu. She says, Ajara, Hanumanji, may you never grow old. Amar, may you be immortal, never die. Gunanidhi Sutahohu, my son Sutta, may you be a storehouse of all virtues. She gives that blessing. You know when you chant Hanuman Chalisa, what do we hear? Jai Hanuman Jnana Guna Sagar, the ocean, the storehouse of virtues, not so? Right? And just a couple nights ago we heard Guni again, right? Guni Ati Chatur. Right? You see how it ties in, right? You see where it comes in. There's a pattern. Everything is connected. Everything is connected. Karahu Bahut Raghunayaka Chuhu. And may Prabhu Shri Ram be most gracious upon you. Karahu Kripa Prabhu Asa Sunikara Nirbhara Prema Magana Hanumana. You know when Hanumanji hears about Prabhu Shri Ram, you can say anything. When he hears Prabhu Shri Ram, kya baat hai? He goes into a state of divine ecstasy. That's what we like to call it. That's how I feel when I chant. That's how we feel when we do satsang. We enter into that state of divine ecstasy, if you want to call it. People need stimulants to enter that state. You understand? Satsang can take you there. Meditation can take you there. Jap can take you there. You just need to use it. But most of the time, people want the easier way out. Please try the controlled method. You'll remain sane. I'm just letting you know. Bolo Siyapati Ramachandra ki jai. Good. Bar bar nae siparasisa, bowing his head at her feet over and over. Bola bachana jori karakisa. He puts his hands together and he starts to speak now and he says, Ab krita kritya bhayu mai mata asisha tava amogha vikhyata. He says, now O Ma, I feel fully accomplished and fully rewarded because all men knows that your blessing is unfailing. Unfailing. Sunahumatu mohi atisaya bhuka. Says, Ma, listen. Now, I am feeling terribly hungry. Well, you know, Hanumanji didn't eat anything from his entire journey since he left the ocean, the seashore, flew over the ocean, came, dealt with all those rakshasas, all sorts of things, right? Had conversation with Vibhishan, all sorts of things. He said that he will not eat anything until after he accomplishes his mission of meeting Sita Devi and reassuring that she is safe. Now that he has reassured, he says, Ma, oh, kya baat hai? I am frightfully hungry, terribly hungry. Lagi dekhi sundar phala rukha. And I'm seeing laid out here before me. Kya baat hai? Look at a beautiful garden with all these wonderful fruits. If I see that also, I will get that excited. You will not get excited? Of course. Right? He sees this and Hanumanji, so wonderful, beautiful fruits. I am terribly hungry. Right? Sunna sutta karahi vipina rakavari parama subhata rajani charan bhari. And she says, my son, know this. This garden is guarded by the most formidable valiant warriors. Tinakar bhaya Mata mohi nahi jao tuma sukha manahu mana. Ma, he says, Ma, if I have your hearty approval, then what is there to fear? Bhaya. Bhaya means fear, right? It is said that one of the key qualities as a Hindu that we must possess is abhayam. It means fearlessness. Right? He says, what fear will I have? I fear them not, for if I have your hearty approval. Right? Dekhi budhi bala nipuna kapi kahiu janaki jahu raghupati charana hridaya dhari tat madhura pala kau. And here now, seeing Hanumanji filled with strength and knowledge and wisdom and all of these wonderful qualities, she says, enshrine the Lord of Ayodhya in your heart, and you go forth and eat to your heart's content. What happens next? Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Raghupati Ram Raja Ram. Patita Pavan Sita Ram. Chali Nai Siru Bhega Palakaya So the funny thing is I can't rush on the katha. So we'll have to split this up in parts. Right? So we will go as far as we can and then we will continue the rest as we go along. We have time, don't worry, Bhagwan is giving us time, to continue. This is so beautiful. Oh, kya baat hai. I can just sit down here and look at this and feel that divine ecstasy. Right? Chale unai siru, peiteu baga, phalakhai sitaru, torai laga. So Hanumanji, he bowed his head in reverence to Sita Devi there. And he went and he started to eat and he started to remove trees. Now, people have the tendency to say that, oh, Hanumanji, well, he's monkey, so he's just destroying everything. No. It is said, right, based on interpretation, that Hanumanji was only removing the trees that was blocking his view of Sita Mata. He did not want to lose that darshan of Sita Devi for a second. And he spent enough time with Prabhu Shri Ram. He has seen him, he was searching for them so long. He found him eventually. Now he's getting darshan of Sita Devi. He wants to lose that darshan? Of course not. So there Hanumanji, he only removes the trees that is blocking his darshan of Sita Mata. He wants to see his divine mother, right? Because she's like his mother. He wants to see at all points of time as he eats joyfully and lovingly. Rahe taha bahu bhat rakvare, kachu mare si kachu, jaye pukare. Now, while Hanumanji is eating, poor Hanumanji eating, you come and harassing Hanumanji for, and you looking for trouble? He ain't harassing nobody. You understand? You want to go and harass a sleeping tiger. And he's not even a tiger, right? Maybe 10,000 times. You want to wake up these sleeping beasts. Come now. Use your brain a little bit now. Well, we're going to Rakshas them. I don't think they have too much. So, unfortunately, they don't know better. So they come now and they start to harass Hanumanji. Who's you and why are you here? And why are you eating this fruit? And kya baat hai? Jai Bhagwan. Who tell them say that? Baapre. Kachu mare si kachu jai pukare. The ones he catch, Ram Nam Satya. Smash them one time. And the ones that, some of them, they were a little bit fast, they take off with that speed and they start to run. They start to run for their lives. I tell you something, you are Hanumanji in your life, all the anger and the lust and the greed and the hatred and all the negativity and the negative people and everybody will start to run. Left, right and center. They go on with speed. I'm telling you, try. Put Hanumanji in your life, awaken him, invoke his presence, and you don't even have to say, Bhagwan, well, you will remove all negativity. Well, we'll remove all negativity. Hanumanji present in negativity start to run in the next direction. Take off at speed. You see? You understand what happens? Right? Nata eka ava kapibari, tehi asoka vatika ojari. Right? So here now, they run to Ravana. Oh Lord, they call him Nata. Eka ava kapibari. A powerful, mighty monkey is here. Tehi asoka vatika ojari. And he's uprooting and he's destroying everything in the Ashok Vatika. Kai si phala aru bitapa upare. Rakshaka mardi mahi dare. He's eating the fruit, he's uprooting all the trees and having crushed all the people who are guarding the forest, having destroyed them. He has thrown them, destroyed them and thrown them to the ground. Bodies flying, right? Left, right and center. Suni Ravana Patay Bhatanana Tinahi Deki Garje Uhanu Mana. Here now. Right? So Suni Ravana Patay Bhatanana, Ravana hearing this and hearing what is happening, Sabaraj Nichar Kapi Sanghare Gai Pukarata Kachuar Mare. He sends forth these Rakshasas, and as he sends forth Rakshasas now, he sends forth more demons and warriors and soldiers now. As he sends them there, Hanumanji, right? Garjeo Hanuman. Hanumanji rose, and as he rose, Jai Shri Ram. You imagine, you picture that, you feel that, you embrace that vibration. You could think about it. Just by roaring alone, them fellas probably disappeared in thin air. Literally. Right? Hanuman didn't have to do anything at all. With the power that was vested in him, of the divine Lord. Right? No negativity could exist. So, there now, exactly as I told you, right? Sabraj Nichar Kapi Sanghare Gai Pukarata Kachuara Mari. Hanumanji overthrew the entire host of Rakshasas. It is said here, more dead than alive. More dead ones than living ones. Now, right? So, the ones now, who cannot catch themselves a little bit, they run again, they run with speed. And here now, they are crying out and shouting, oh God, oh God. Even them now start to call God name. Right? They are sure if it's Ravan, they call it as Lord, or they are sure if it's Ram, they call it now. Right? That is divinity. That is divine power. That is an awakening, devotees. In life, we live with a lot of fear in our hearts, right? We're always afraid. I don't know when I go outside who is going to rob this one and who's going to kill this one and who's going to that one. I tell you all, and I tell you all tonight, my dear friends, you awaken that power within you. None of them stands a chance. None of them will be able to come. If they do come, it's only because you would have attracted that experience to yourself. It happens, it happens. Don't worry. It happens. But awaken this. Think about this. If all of us, we channel this divine energy and this divine power. Think about the waves that we can create upon the face of this earth. Think about what we can really accomplish. Picture a nuclear weapon, right? A nuclear weapon. Where do you think that energy comes from? Where do you think that power comes from? They have to find it from somewhere, from the atmosphere, from the creation. And then put it together. But who puts it together? Doesn't man put it together? The power lies here. The problem is we don't find the power to tap into it. We're always trying to find it externally. We're always trying to create it, something external. Start finding the power here, and then you will see what nuclear power can stand next to you with the power that is contained within you here. Bolo Siyapati Ramachandra ki Jai. So, as they ran, took off at that speed, right? Here's what happens next. Puni Pathayu Tehi Aksha Kumara Chala Sangale Subhata Apara. So, here now Ravana decides to send his younger son by the name of Akshaya Kumar. Not the Indian movie star, eh? Right? Akshaya Kumar, young son. He sends him forth now, so he sent them. He sent in a certain order. So he sent the soldiers first, then he will send Akshaya Kumara now with his soldiers. Then he's sending at different levels now. But that is how a king operates, right? If he's going into war, he can send the most formidable warrior in front first of all. Think about it. So strategy is being applied also now, right? Despite the fact that he's a Rakshas, he might have 10 head, he's using it. You know what I mean? So he's doing things strategically. Sometimes we have and we don't even use. You know, he's using here, he's using, think about it, right? I want you to think and analyze, understand that. So he sends forth Akshay Kumar with some seasoned warriors now, valiant warriors, right? Avat deki bittapa gahi tarja tahi nipati mahadhuni garja. Seeing this Akshay Kumar coming forth there, Hanumanji uprooted a tree and rushed forth towards Akshay Kumar and took him out with one blow. Ram Nam Satya. Jai Shri Ram. The Lord's name is truth. All I can say tonight, I don't mean people dead, I think, you know. You know, we say Ram Nam Satya when you go to Muddy Creek, so everybody is free to say it when you say Ram Nam Satya means the Lord's name is truth. I always tell people, don't wait until that time when everybody else chanted it and you can't chant it. Chant it now. You know, chant it now while you can actually chant it, right? So let's say Ram Nam Satya hai. Kya baat hai, right? So here now, as he overthrew Akshay Kumar now, Kachu mare si kachu, mar desi kachu, malaya si dhari dhuri. Now, so some he slew some of those Rakshasas, crushed some of them, some he seized and he pounded them to dust. I want you to picture this in your mind, right? Picture Hanumanji now, and he is in this powerful form. And this Tulsidas is describing like he taking them fellas like puppets now, he grabbing them one by one and smashing them. All you ever see Avengers and thing, you know? Picture how. I want you to think about it, right? I want you to think about it. You picture how can smash it, right? I have a very vivid image of what I'm thinking about here. They're taking them, knocking them all over, you know? Removing, eradicating. So, all of these Rakshasas, I want you to understand something, right? All of these Rakshasas, again, as I said before, they represent things like the anger, the lust, and the greed, and the hatred, and the false pride, jealousy. So each one of them, Hanumanji is removing them, one after the next, one after the next, one after the next. He's clarifying, he's cleansing, and he's purifying Lanka. Because Lanka was once known as the Golden City, eh? It was once known as the Golden City. Lord Shiva brought that into manifestation and eventually had to give to Ravana, because you know Ravana is a very smart fellow. Always, well, actually Ravana overthrew the person who actually had it, right, which was Kuber, and he eventually was able to acquire that Lanka, right? That's another katha by itself, right? And there are many variations, there are many versions of it. So it was once known as the Golden City. Even in the Ramcharitamanas, when it is being described, when Hanumanji enters, before he enters Lanka, he looks at the city and he gets a view of the entire city, and it is described as the most beautiful sight that you can ever see. The roads well paved, rivers well channeled, and all of these different things. Beautiful city, a beautiful sight. And we think about that as being the abode of Rakshasas. Sometimes it makes you wonder. It makes you wonder. When you look at your home, when you look at your environment, when you look at places we go, we take a piece of paper, we use it, and then we put it down right there. I see that so many times, all over you. You drink something in a bottle, you take the bottle and you rest it up. Right there. You know, we make it a habit, you know, when we go places, we need to have that practice that we try to create a habit where we get all of that mentality. We take things and throw it out of the car when we're driving on the road, and throw it all on the road and stuff, and then we come in the mandir and we pray to God. But you're throwing it on God. You understand? The earth. You are disrespecting it. Right? So, Kachukuni jai pukare Prabhu markata bala bhuri. So, some of them again who ran and they escaped, now they run back to Ravana and say, oh Lord, this fella mighty, he powerful, we don't know what to do. This monk, they say, right? This monk, he is invincible. Right? And here are devotees. Suni Sutabadha Lankesha Rasana Patayasi Meghnad Balavana. Hearing the death of his son, Akshay Kumar, Ravana flew into a rage and he summons for his elder son now, Meghnad. Right? Marasi Jani Sutta Bandesu Tahi Dekhiya Kapihi Kaha Kar Ahi. And here now, Ravana instructs Meghnad and he tells him, he says, do not kill him. I want you to find him and I want you to bind him. I also want to see who is this fellow that is so powerful and that is so mighty. Let me see where he has come from. What happens, devotees? Let's hear.
Jai Ram, Sri Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Chala Indra Jita Atulit Joda, Bandhu Dinara Suni Upaja Prodi, Kati Dekada, Runa Bhata Ava, Kata Katai Garja Ruda, Jai Ram, Sri Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Here now, Indrajit, he is known as Indrajit, right? Meghnad. Because he conquered Indra, the king of the heavenly regions, at one point in time. Valiant, mighty, powerful warrior. As he goes forward there, what happens?
He's described as a valiant warrior, a valiant champion. Being angry with the news of the death of his brother, he rushes forward there in a very mighty and powerful manner.
Kapide tha daruna batu ava.
Bata Ava. Hanumanji sees this powerful warrior approaching.
Kat katai garja arupa.
What happens? He grinds his teeth and he rushes out to welcome Meghnad. He rushes out to meet with Meghnad.
Ati vesal taru taru eko upar.
Hanumanji, he uproots a tree.
Biratatim Lankesh Kumar.
And Jai Shri Ram. He removes Meghnad from the chariot with one blow.
Rahe Mahabata ke sang. Gahi gahi kati mandaye naja.
And here, Hanumanji sees all the Rakshasas that came with Meghnad one by one together. And he slammed them together. He gnashed them together. Eradicating that evil. Eradicating that negativity.
Kinnahi nipatita hi sanavad. Vire jugalama nahu gajaraj.
Here now, Meghnad, he gets up because he's a powerful warrior. And as he gets up, he and Hanumanji, they rush towards each other. And they are described as Gajaraja. Both of them like the king of elephants. I want you to picture that for a second. Like the king of elephants, two of them rush towards each other and they collide.
Mutika marichara taru jai. Nahi ek chan murcha ai.
Hanumanji, he struck the opponent using his fist and grabbing a tree. Meghnad now falls unconscious. As he falls unconscious, here at this point in time,
Uti bahor ki kisi bahumai. Jiti na jaye prabhaj na jaye.
now he tries all sorts of things as he gets up this time. All sorts of devices, all sorts of weapons. But Pavanputra, the son of the wind, was invincible. Nothing could conquer him. So what he has to do?
Brahma astra te sandha. Kapi manakin habichar. Jao na Brahma astra manahu. Mahima mitai apar. Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Brahma asratehi samdha kapi mana kinha vichar. Here now Meghnad places upon his bow the Brahmastra, that most powerful weapon of Lord Brahma. Hanumanji seeing this Brahmastra coming forth there now, he puts his hands together and he thinks, Manakina vichar, what should I do at this point in time? Jao na Brahmastra manau mahima mitai apar. If it is I overcome this weapon, then Brahmaji's glory will go in vain. Nobody would worship or give any praise or significance to that anymore. So at this point in time, Hanumanji, he places his hands, he folds his hands, and what happens? He bows in reference as that Brahmastra comes forth there and it binds him. So it did not overcome Hanumanji. Hanumanji allowed it out of respect. He allowed it to bind him. And from there forward now, Meghnad and them feeling very excited that they have caught this most mighty warrior. Little do they know what is about to transpire. They are now taking him to
Ravana, to that court of Ravana, where he will be questioned, and then what is going to happen is he's going to have a conversation with Ravana. And that conversation is so beautiful, where Hanumanji only extols the glory of his Lord Prabhu Shri Ram, while Ravana only extols his own glory. The Abhiman, the ego, it is real. He is only singing his own praises. He says, you never hear about Ravana, you never hear who I is. And Hanumanji starts to narrate all sorts of funny stories about Ravana, all the ones where he was weak and where he get beat up on it. At one point in time, Bali held Ravana under his arm and performed tapasya for 6 months non-stop. He says, Hanuman says, did you remember that time? Oh, aren't you that same Ravana that Bali held under his arm for 6 months non-stop and performed tapasya? You know, that Ravana, that is who you are, not so, isn't that so? And Ravana starts to get hot-headed, you know, because the ego is being affected. Right? And this is where our Katha comes down, and next week we will continue. So you know for sure you want to hear what comes next, because the important part comes there.